Good evening, gladiators in suits. I hope you're all having a great day so far. Good evening. I'm going live earlier tonight again. I should have gone earlier at 8 o'clock, but I had errands to work on. So, good evening. Tonight's topic is going to be exciting. A lot of you have been asking about this, and we're going to be talking about promotions. Everyone wants to get promoted, at least if you're the type of person who wants to get ahead and who wants to climb the corporate ladder for a lot of reasons. We want to get promoted because it's a form of recognition that we are doing the right thing. Financially, it also increases your salary because most promotions do involve increase in salaries. If you happen to be the type who wants to manage a bigger team or a group of people, it's also an opportunity because most promotions involve people management. So we're going to talk about that. What are the typical challenges and hurdles, and what are the typical ins and outs of getting that promotion and nailing it down? What are the usual unspoken rules that we know do exist, but there is no rule book, there's no handbook for us to manage that? Okay, so we're going to talk about those things today. While we're letting people allow that question to sink in, I'm going to do a quick attendance check. Just want to check how people are doing. Could you please give us an exclamation mark, give us a like, give us a heart if you're ready to tackle this topic? I would love to see your answers, your thoughts in the chat box. Ooh, bilis naman. Some people are already typing their questions. I'm going to park those questions in a while. But give me first your city, your country, your location. Would love to see that. Gladiators in suits. Okay, my girl is from Jensan. We have Nol from Laguna. Thank you for joining our session tonight. We have lots of folks on LinkedIn also online tonight. Joa Tham is watching from Camarines Sur. Thank you for joining us. Mai is also watching from Commonwealth in Quezon City. Thank you. So, gladiators in suits, I'm going to ask you now if you could please start typing your questions. Again, you don't need to limit it to promotions, even if that's going to be the topic for tonight. We're also going to welcome questions as long as they involve career management. So it could be about job interviews, it could be about salary increase, it could be about managing conflict with your colleagues, it could be about managing expectations if you're new in the company, it could be quitting, it could be changing lanes because you've decided to switch careers. We're going to be answering these questions in tonight's session. Okay. In the middle of our conversation, we're also going to be giving away some prizes, some free tickets to our upcoming workshop at the SMX Convention Center. We'll do that, so please stay tuned. I'm just going to be putting an extra challenge to our participants tonight. I hope that's okay. I'm going to make it slightly hardworking for you. Please take note, we are only going to call out winners from that set of participants who have shared this live stream on their newsfeed. Okay? You have to share this live stream on your newsfeed, and we will have a way of knowing that because it usually is on top of your name once you do that. That applies for Facebook, that applies on LinkedIn, that applies on TikTok as well. Okay? So if you do not see that on your name, even if you got the correct answer for our online contest later on, I'm going to say sorry, we will not make you eligible to win the prize. Is that okay? Is that cool? Also, please take note that the only eligible winners are those that are able to attend our session. Our session is conducted at the SMX Convention Center in Fort BGC and SM Aura. Okay? Can I get a letter F as in fair, if that's a fair request? I hope it's okay with you. Yes? Ryan Tentia on YouTube is saying, I'm currently watching The Apprentice Asia again. You know, you might call me smug about this, but when I watch the show, because sometimes I chance upon it because some people tag me, I cringe. Why do I cringe? That was 10 years ago. I was a totally different person, and I think I did well. Well, I won the show, right? I think I did well, but I don't know. I cringe with how I spoke. I cringe with sometimes my choice of words. I'm happier because I'm a wiser person now. Okay, ayan. So team, have you shared? Please share. Share, share, share. We're not gonna call out folks who do not share this in their newsfeed. Okay, let's get to business. Let's answer questions now. I think I have some questions that were already raised a while ago. Okay. Katie Torre O'Connor on Facebook is asking this question. How do you handle not getting a promotion that you've actively worked for and everyone knew that you did? Before I answer this question, can I get an exclamation mark from the participants? Have you ever felt that you deserve to get a promotion, but you didn't get it? You deserve it so well that even your teammates and your colleagues are telling you, John, I think you're going to get promoted this year. I think this is it. Can I get an exclamation mark? Have you ever felt that way? Okay. Ooh, lots of people are typing it. Okay. Are we in a session na lahat ay biguan? Lahat ba tayo? Are we all in a session we're like non-promoted anonymous? It's a group of people who weren't promoted. I think everyone's going to think of getting promoted and that they deserve it because we're always going to be biased in favor of ourselves, right? We have a tendency to think highly of ourselves, even if sometimes we don't deserve it. Okay? That's normal. That's natural for human beings. But Katie, to answer your question, how do you manage it? Number one, before you even react that you didn't get something that you thought you deserved, I want you to look into the mirror 2 times, 3 times, and 4 times. And please don't take this personally. I don't know you anyway. But this is something I would also tell to myself. Do you really deserve that promotion in the first place? And even if your colleagues also think that you do, sometimes you might want to reassess what were the criteria that were set by the company and did I really meet those criteria? Which means, number one, have you asked your manager what those criteria are? Number two, before even the promotions are announced, have you asked on the third month, on the fifth month, on the seventh month, until the last month that the announcements are going to be done? Have you checked on your manager how you're doing? Because you don't want to ask your manager if you deserve the promotion only when the promotions are announced and you were not part of the cut. Okay? Sometimes we often think that we deserve it when we don't. And we might want to reassess and look into the mirror what those criteria are. Now, if you have an opportunity, please talk to your manager, which is step number 2. Talk to your manager and ask the painful question, why didn't I get promoted when I thought that I should? You want to hold your manager accountable because, number one, it is their responsibility to promote you if you really deserve it. So hold them accountable by asking the questions. If I did not get promoted, what are the elements that were lacking in my performance? I need to know X, Y, and Z so that I'm going to attempt one more time. It might take 6 months, it might take another year, so I can finally get it right. And again, what is measured can be improved. I'm going to repeat. What can be measured can be improved. Can I request our participants to please type that in the chat box? Just so you get to appreciate and let that message sink in. What can be measured can be improved. Why is that important? How are you going to know if you're deserving of a promotion in the first place if no one is telling you if you are above or below the standards? You have to monitor next 3 months, next 5 months, next 6 months, until the 12th month when the announcements are going to be made. You have to ask. You cannot just be blindsided and wait for it on the day of the announcements. You will not be able to act on it anymore. So ask your manager. more than anything else, the one who submits the nomination for promotions, the one who defends if you really deserve a promotion, even if someone from the deliberation committee is vetoing it, is your manager. Your number one ally who's going to propose it is going to be your manager. You have to win the side of your manager in the first place. Okay? So, Katie, I hope I was able to answer your question. And number three, you will take it personally. You will probably take it emotionally, and that's normal. I've had those moments as well when I was younger. There was a time, when I applied for Apprentice Asia, it was at the time when I thought I was going to get promoted. And I said, this is BS, not going to get promoted even if I deserve. I want to get something else for my career. And so I applied. Okay. Easier said than done, but you can channel that frustration into something else that you think is going to be your source of bounce back. Okay. Okay. Christian Martinez on Facebook is asking this question. Any tips regarding self-development when your employer does not provide you any trainings for your self-development? Okay, let's answer this question by probing from our participants. Give me an exclamation mark if you happen to be working for an amazing company that does give you generous trainings. Just want to probe on our participants. Give me an exclamation mark. If I was a participant in this session, I would raise my hand and I would type exclamation mark because my last three companies, well, AirAsia doesn't do a lot of that. I don't know. These days, maybe they do. But I remember when I was in AirAsia, I don't think I attended any training session at all. Maybe because I was so busy being with Tony. But when I was with GlaxoSmithKline, the pharmaceutical company, gosh, almost every month we were being sent to so many conferences and workshops. The company would spend 100,000 pesos, 70,000 pesos almost on every employee so that they can be in their best shape. So I was so lucky to have that. If you happen to be in that company, please cherish that and be grateful, because do know that not all companies do that. Whenever I conduct workshops, whenever I do either private engagements with clients or the ones that we do at the SMX Convention Center, I often tell our participants, not that I'm grateful because you attended and bought tickets for our workshops, but I also want you to appreciate that if you think that this is normal, you think that this is a given, please know that this is not the same situation for all types of employees. Some employees have zero training opportunities. So can I just request, if you get to talk to your manager next week or next month or whenever it's possible, I know it sounds cheesy, but thank them. Be grateful for them. Express your gratitude and say, thank you for that conference that you sent me to. Thank you for that training opportunity, because I understand that no one gets that. Okay? I just finished a TED talk about being grateful. I'm going to go back to the answer of Christian now. So Christian Martinez asks, what do I do if I'm that poor, unfortunate soul that doesn't get that training? Two things. If it's not given to you by your manager, I think there are so many other senior leaders in the organization that you can look out for. Again, easier said than done, but it could be the department head of another team. It could be another senior leader that you have talked to in a meeting. You were able to befriend them, and now you can keep on asking questions or invite them for coffee. Number two, if you really have zero people that you can lean on to as your coach or your mentor, I think in the meantime, in the temporary time, consider looking for coaches and mentors outside your company. It could be your ex-boss. It could be other senior leaders in other organizations. During my time when I was with Tony Fernandez and he didn't have enough time, and Tony, I'm not blaming you. Just want to call this out. I know that you were a very busy guy during that time. What I did was to resort to self-learning. I've watched as many YouTube videos, many TED Talk videos. I took a lot of Coursera sessions. I took up a lot of online courses because that's a best way for me to learn. Okay? I'm going to do a quick promotion, by the way. If you guys are into enrolling in online courses, we do have that. You can go to our website, jonathanyabut.com, and we have 10 online courses on public speaking, business writing, leadership, etc. The ticket is only 499 pesos. These are online courses that are recorded so you can catch them anytime that you want. O, diba? I was able to insert a commercial. Third, when I was in AirAsia and I didn't have much mentorship, every time I finish a PowerPoint presentation, every time I finish a meeting, every time I call up a colleague, right after, I would talk to them in private and say, hey, I want to know how I performed. Can you give me some points of feedback? How was that presentation? Can you tell me how clear were my PowerPoint slides? Can you tell me if how I presided that meeting a while ago was quick and efficient? And please, I will take the pain. Even if you think it's painful to say it, even if you think it will hurt my feelings, please do so because I want to know how I can improve. I will not take it personally against you. I did that frequently when I didn't have any bosses to lean on to. Okay? Thank you, Christian, for that question. RB says, I bought your book and gave it to my partner. He is now using it on their sessions. Oh, thank you. You can, I'm able talaga to insert a lot of commercials. But thank you, RB. Our best-selling books, like our From Grit to Great and Everything Will Be All Right, all four books available in National Bookstore, fully booked. You can also catch them on Lazada and Shopee. So thank you. I hope you enjoy the reading. Okay, let's look at some more questions. Tanjiro. Oh, Tanjiro's eating tissue paper, oh. Ikaw talaga. Okay, I think I'll be able to answer this now. Art Neil Fernandez just wants to share his thoughts. In our company, we have Friday feedback, where employees can provide feedback or suggestions to anything, and most of the improvement or changes of the company were coming from those feedback. This is good. Not everyone does that. Not every company is open to feedback in the first place. And if you may ask me, what if suggestion boxes that are anonymous are effective? Yes, they are. I'm just not 100% sold to the idea that you have to make people anonymous just to give feedback and that they have to put it into writing. Why? It breeds that mentality and that behavior that you are only brave to share your thoughts because you are anonymous. What I think is the ideal type of feedback giving culture is that when people are able to share their thoughts with psychological safety. And that is, I'm not going to be afraid if I'm going to call out what's wrong in the company. If I'm in a meeting and if I think that something is wrong with the PowerPoint presentation, I will say it out loud. Not because I'm the enemy, but because I'm on your same team. And I want us to be in the same higher level of learning and performance. Okay. Thank you, Art Neil. Okay. Rio Agra on LinkedIn. This was a very long question. So let's spend time on this. What will you advise to me after receiving 2 job offers from a reputable global company? Wow, congratulations. By the way, not everyone is in the same position to choose and be torn between 2 lovers. No? Number 1, company 1 is on-site with higher basic salary but limited benefits. Okay? Company number 2, hybrid setup with low basic salary but good benefits. Uh, it's not up to me to answer this question. Maybe I can just throw the question to you. What are you looking for in a company? Okay. So if your issue here is number 1, I think one driver is, do you want to be on site or do you want to have certain days that you're working from home? Because one is on site, that means I would assume 5 days a week you're in the office. The other one, perhaps 2 days or 1 day a week, you can be working from home. I think that's a very important thing to consider. So if you're working from a very far residence, vis-a-vis to your office, I think number 2 company is a good choice. Can I get an exclamation mark if you guys agree with me? Right? Number 2, high basic salary versus low basic salary but good benefits. Again, it depends on what benefits are you looking for. If you think that you have dependents who will be needing that health insurance, who will be needing some gas allowance, phone allowance, etc., I go for the one that gives you more benefits. You know, the other good thing about benefits that a lot of people miss out, benefits are not taxed by the government. Can I get a letter T as in taxed, if we can relate to that? What does that mean? If you have better benefits, even if you have lower take home pay, that means your overall net income is relatively higher. Okay? So I would go for that. Oh, ayan. Rice allowance, clothing allowance, those things are not taxed by the government, especially for certain industries. Not 100%. So you can check your contract if you are going to be free from taxes, but most benefits are not taxed at all. Okay? Remember, it's not just all about cash. Can I just remind our gladiators in suits? Do not be magnetized that, ooh, the total number, the bottom line number is high. Yes, you may be getting, let's say, 100,000 peso salary, but there is no insurance, there is no HMO, you don't have a car plan, you don't even have gas allowance, and you're already a manager. You end up getting more expenses incurred every month. So you always have to look at the bottom line. It always has to be cash plus the compensation and benefits. Okay? Um, she on TikTok is asking, what if your employer is from the government? There's no way for promotion. You know, I think this is just my experience as well. I am disappointed because I think the culture in the government agencies are not as progressive and they're not as competitive. I think they have competitive retirement benefits, but when it comes to getting promoted in government agencies, I don't think it's number one based on a stringent criteria. Both my parents are from the government, and my dad still works up until this day. He's 62 years old. Papa, you're 62 years old, ba? Can't remember. I'll ask him later. Uh, and I think he's only gotten promoted twice in his career, and he always complains about. I think for the past 15 years of his career, he has always been a contractual. He was never a full time employee. So even the benefits were missing from his own end. So yes, so this is where if you're choosing career paths, you have to choose an organization and an industry that's well known, not just for the cash, but also for the benefits and the career progression. Okay? When I say career progression, what are the positions that I can take? What are the departments that I can rotate to? Can I enjoy business travel? Because I think it's one of the good perks that you can have in a company. Okay, ask and probe these things whenever you're doing your job interview. Do not be afraid to ask them, and do not be afraid that you will not be accepted just because you are questioning what the benefits are. If it's really a good company, they will not take it against you if you ask these things. Right? Please remember, hindi ka magmumukhang pera. Of course, ask these questions only at the end of the conversation. Do not ask it at the beginning of the interview, but ask it still because you want to know what you're signing up to. You're not here desperate for a job. It's a two-way street. You're going to offer your efforts, your time, your love for the job. In return, the company has to be competitive in giving you the right compensation as well. Okay, let's look for some more questions here. By the way, folks, I am displaying now on our Facebook screen. If you happen to be from the north, let's say Olongapo, Clark, Bulacan, Tarlac, or Baguio City, please note that we are conducting also face-to-face workshops on public speaking, business writing, leadership, and social media. All these workshops are going to happen on July 7 and July 8 at the SMX Convention Center in Olongapo and SMX Convention Center in Clark. If you have any friends who happen to be in that area, We hope you get to spread and share the news as well. Okay. Ooh, I like this question from TikTok, from Baba. How should you feel when someone has resigned and you feel like it's your fault as a manager? Huh? Well, number one, identify what was the reason why the person resigned in the first place. If you think that that was your fault and it's your shortcoming, obviously it's normal to feel bad, but take it as an opportunity that you should be better next time. Having someone resigned in your team feels like you're losing a son, you're losing a daughter. Agree? And you feel like you could have done something to make that person stay, because leaving is such a big cost. You're uprooting yourself, you're starting again from scratch. That's one. Number two, identify what are the controllable and the uncontrollable parts of the resignation. There are a lot of things that may be outside your control. What do I mean? Let's say this person left because they were asking for a higher salary. But even if you've asked HR as the manager, you couldn't because the company didn't have budget for it. Is it your fault? Not at all. So don't feel bad for it. As long as you've done your part in asking and inquiring, I think you should be able to sleep at peace at night. Okay? I think the bottom line here also is ask. When the person leaves, try to ask the question why. Why are they leaving? And how can the company be better so that this will be avoided in the future? Okay, let's ask some more folks. Okay, I'm going to give a tip, by the way, to some of our viewers. If you're going to be asking a question, it's best to write it into one sentence or paragraph. Don't write it into multiple sentences because I will not be able to display and read that properly. People are asking, how do we register in your workshops? Go to our website, jonathan.yabut.com. Everything is there. Okay, LinkedIn user. Ooh, I like this. A lot of you guys ask these types of questions. So LinkedIn user says, how would you feel when company X promoted two of your colleagues the moment you resigned? The truth is, you ask for additional person with the same position as you are in order for you not to resign. Okay, there's one thing that I am automatically at the top of my head, I'm thinking, why two colleagues got promoted? And that is your manager, when you left, was afraid that the other teammates are also going to leave. So out of not wanting everyone to leave, because maybe something went wrong, that's why you left, and everyone felt that they were being abandoned, so that the other two would not leave, your manager probably promoted them so that they will stay. And he's not going to have a hard time rebuilding a damaged team. Can I get an exclamation mark if you guys agree with my conspiracy theory? Do you agree? Pwede, di ba? It's legit. That's usually what people do. When someone resigns, they give a counter offer. Or if someone has already resigned, the rest are given opportunities to step up so that they will not leave also. Agree? I think that's what happened here, unfortunately. Okay? Uh, okay. Question here on TikTok. Mr. John, you keep on call me John na lang, not Mr. John. I feel old when you call me Mr. John. I'm not that old yet. Not that being old is bad, but I don't want to grow up quickly. My birthday is coming up, by the way, in a few weeks. Okay, John, you keep on mentioning that in order to get promoted, there has to be a criteria. I've watched your past I've watched your past talks, and you said this criteria includes leadership, sales, metrics, etc. What if my company has zero metrics? Am I doomed? Yes, you are. Uh, I'm sorry. I think that was a bad thing to say. But I think so. Somehow you are. Why? If there are no metrics or criteria, what is the basis for promotion? Has this been announced to you? Has this been relayed to you? And even if there are promotion criteria per manager and per team, that means the criteria is different per department, per employee. It's so subjective, which means fairness and objectivity is absent in your organization. What is your next step? Number one, lower your expectations, lower your standards. This means that your chance of getting promoted is also going to be very low. Number two, try asking the question, is this the right organization therefore for you? If you do want to get promoted and your company does not have any criteria at all, this is not at all, not the right organization for you. You want to be working for an organization wherein at the start of the year, there are criteria that has been set. John, you have to meet X, Y, and Z. If you're able to tick the boxes, you get the prize. You get promoted. If you don't have that conversation with your manager, there is no proper measure. Again, what can be measured can be improved. What can be measured can be rewarded. If those things are absent, it's going to be hard for you to get promoted. Okay? Now, can you change the system? You can, but it's not going to happen overnight. I actually doubt if one person can change that. Even if you tell it to your manager needs to tell it to HR needs to tell it to the CEO or to the business owner. And sad to say, this situation happens mostly in small companies. When I say small companies, the owner is also the HR. The owner is also your boss. And they don't have time for HR development, trainings, and promotions. They promote according to whims. They promote according to maybe you've brought in 1 million pesos. Okay? It's based on their mood, it's based on their palakasan and their relationships with other people. Honestly, if I'm going to be blunt, this is the reason why if I'm at this age and if I think that I'm senior enough to do so well, I will not choose to work for a small company and I will not choose to work for a company that doesn't have structures in place. I'm going to avoid those organizations because likely they do not have institutionalized measures for promotions. Okay. Nol Gonzalez on Facebook is asking this question. Is it okay to accept a promotion, meaning a higher accountability, with a later salary adjustment? And that is 3 to 6 months. Number one, from a legal perspective, there's nothing wrong if there is consent. So if you're okay with it, then the company is allowed to do it by all means. So the question is, are you okay with that? If you were to ask me for someone, I'm talking about me as Jonathan Yabut, I am not going to be okay with it because my expectation is that promotions must have salary increases. Now, is it 100% assured that if you are promoted, there must be a salary increase? Not all the time, but by practice and convention, it is a way to incentivize people to accept new responsibility. If you're okay to wait, then go. But I think it's not fair because most promotions in the amazing organizations I have worked for and met, the salary increase is automatically on the same month that you are announced to be promoted. So it's your choice, Noel. I think it's not ideal, but if you're okay to wait, maybe because the company does not have yet the right money, go. Go for it. Okay? Thelma on Facebook is asking, is it okay to go back to a department that you left because you have a misunderstanding with your previous boss, but that boss has already resigned? Why not? If you love that department, if you love your job and the boss, meaning perhaps you didn't get along well with them, so in your eyes, that person's the devil. If the person has left, why not? If the root cause of your dissatisfaction in that position is already gone, why not? Okay, let's answer a question now on TikTok. Is it okay that you are promoted but you are placed in a different department that you are not familiar with? That happens a lot. And the reason for that is because you're being stretched to a different role. My only request is that you need to demand proper training. Don't just get promoted and that they throw you into the ocean and you swim alone. That is not promotion. That is abandonment. Can I get a letter A if you agree? A lot of companies do this, by the way, that when you get promoted, oh, you have higher salaries, you have more prestige. I'm going to throw you to more challenging roles. Of course, they're expected, but please do not abandon your team. They will still need training, support, career guidance, hand holding at some point. Okay? So, yes, it's okay, but you have to demand this from your manager. This is also the reason why before you accept a promotion, please, 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 please have a proper conversation with your manager and ask them, okay, what does the promotion entail? What is going to change in my scope of work? Am I going to manage people? Basic things such as, am I still going to be in this department? Will I still be reporting to you? Please do not forget to ask these questions. I have met so many people who were blindsided, meaning I felt that they were backstabbed by their own bosses because given the excitement that they were going to get promoted, they were not told that they will be moved to a different department later on. And they gladly, blindly accepted. Can I get an exclamation mark if we're appreciating that? Ask those questions because you might regret it later on. Fine, there was a salary increase. It's prestigious to be called promoted and all these things. But if you're going to end up being unhappy in that new position because you didn't like it after a few months, ikaw ang talo. You're the loser. Now, Jonathan, follow-up question. Is it legal for me to decline a promotion? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay? You have all the rights to decline the promotion. And the reason for that is because it's not what you want. You're not going to be happy for it. And you don't want forced labor in the first place. When I signed onto my employment contract, this is the work scope that I have signed up for. I am not signing up for that. Remember, by the way, please take note. You will notice this. When you get promoted in a company, you will need to sign a new employment contract. Can I get a letter N as in new? If we're aware of that. If your company does not do that, please demand for it. Why do you need to sign on a new employment contract? Because the job is a totally different work scope. That contract includes what are your new benefits? What are your new salary adjustments? What are your new responsibilities? You want to put them into writing, by the way, gladiators in suits. So that if push comes to shove and something goes wrong, you have documentation to look at. Why is this important now? Because if you do not sign that contract and they're still forcing you to enter that job, that is forced labor. Can I get a letter F? Again, I wish I have a lawyer to explain this to me. But simply put, this is forced labor. People should not be subjected to do something that they did not have consent given. You only give consent because you signed up for it in your employment contract. So if they are changing your work scope, including the number of people you're going to manage, the department you're going to work for, and there is no consent to it, that is forced labor. Okay? If you get promoted, ask for documentation. Documentation that you are getting this new amount of salary, you're getting this new compensation, this new benefits. This is now your new work scope, etc., etc. Okay, someone's asking, is it really a new contract? Would an official appointment letter do? Yes, it is. But I'm asking you to also document your new salary, your compensation, etc. These things are guys, these things have to be documented, right? Do not trust that it should be expressed only verbally. At least on email, written down, it should be there. Otherwise, they can easily retract and you have nothing else to show in court if it becomes a legal issue. Okay? Also, do not believe that you will get promoted if it's only verbally expressed. The only time that you should celebrate, right? Huwag kayo magpapa-party at magpapa-blowout sa mga kaibigan nyo until you have seen that written confirmation that you are indeed promoted. Because it happens, some companies just retract. Some companies just withdraw that promotion saying, we don't have budget, we don't think you deserve it, we don't think you're good enough, etc. Okay, people are asking, especially in TikTok, what if wala contract? A contract is just a label. It doesn't have to be a contract as in it's like 50 pages. It could be a memo. It could be a appointment form. My point is, in that letter, whatever it is, it needs to document all the terms and conditions of the new position that you're taking on. Okay? Ooh. R&J Store on TikTok is asking, as a manager, would you tolerate people or subordinates who will resign because of career growth? Yes. There are two philosophies here. As a manager, it's your responsibility to make sure that your people don't resign. How do you do that? You have to make them happy, right? Because retention is also a metric for many managers. HR usually counts the number of people who stayed versus people who left. So it's part of your performance, meaning your boss is going to call you out if you have too many people resigning. It's also part of your metric. So that's one philosophy. You have to sell that this company is worth working for. By all means, convince your employee not to leave. Offer them something or promise them something or clarify something for them to stay. But philosophy number two, if this person was my friend and I really care for them, and I know that the company will not be able to give the things that they've been asking for the past months or years, I will let them go. Because I think that, kung mahal mo siya, you're gonna let the person go. Can I get an exclamation mark if you agree? If you care for this person and you know that their career is gonna get destroyed if they will keep on rotting in this organization because it's out of your hands, you cannot give them the things that they wanted, I would let them go. Especially, if I care for them. What do I mean? If this person is not performing and leaving is a solution for me to have less headaches, I'm going to let this person go also. But I'm going to let this person go on a positive note if I think it's going to improve their job. They're going to get a better salary. I cannot offer the new salary by the new company. They're going to a more prestigious organization. They're leaving for an international stint abroad or in another city. Why not? Go. Especially if you're young. I'm not going to be the blockage for your career. And I think that's what makes great leaders. They will never be insecure if their people go to a better place because it's just what's best for them. Okay, let's answer some more. Oh, halfway through. Let's give away some prizes now. Are you guys okay with this? I want to give away tickets to our upcoming workshops at the SMX Convention Center. All 5 workshops happening on June 21 and June 24. If you'd like to get schedules of our workshops, you can go to jonathan.yabut.com. Okay. I'm using a separate account on LinkedIn. So for those that may be asking, I'm going to place here the link. I'm going to type the link of our website just so people can have a complete link. Because folks on TikTok are not seeing our how do you call this? You guys are not seeing our display. Okay, I'm going to be asking questions now. Can I ask, could you please suggest what category of will be for tonight's trivia? I would love to know. What category do you think will work? Science. Again, this is a trivia question. The first folks who get to answer it correctly will win our tickets. So please let me know. Check ko nga. Ayan. Guys, I'm typing on TikTok. I am typing the link. I just wrote it there as well. I'm using a different account, a different Jonathan Yabut account just for you to be able to see it. Oh, science daw. Animals. How about the others? Current events. Pwede bang current events? Space. Can I ask about space? Can I ask a trivia about space? Yes. This one's easy. Okay. My question is, and can I get the letter R if you're all ready to answer this question? TikTok, we're going to give away 3 winners, and each winner gets a +1. So you can tag along a person with you. Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, you each get 1 winner. And the winner gets to tag along also 1 person. Okay? So category is space. So planet Earth is part of the solar system. And the solar system is part of which galaxy? That's the question. First folks who get to answer this correctly will win the tickets. If you don't win, you can buy tickets in our website, jonathanyabut.com. All of the schedules are there. Please have a look. Please spend time checking it out in our website. Which galaxy are we part of? Madali na to ah. This one's an easy round. Okay? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is we are part of the Milky Way galaxy. Okay? The Milky Way galaxy. So, winners are, let's first call out winners on Facebook. My winner, YouTube muna. Winner on YouTube is Reclin Rowaza. Please send us a private message. You can go to our Facebook account or you can go to our, send me an email, jonathanyabut@gmail.com. The reason I'm saying that for YouTube is because you guys don't have a messenger to send me a private message to. Okay? Facebook, winner is Jonah Asturias. Congratulations, Jonah Asturias. And finally, on LinkedIn, my winner is Patricia Bonilla. Patricia Bonilla. Congratulations. By the way, again, we are only calling out winners who have shared our live stream on their newsfeed. If you did not share, you will not be able to win because we're not going to pick your names. So please make sure you share this live stream on your accounts, on your newsfeed. Now, TikTok, we're going to give away 3 winners. Please send me a private message if you are called out as the successful winner. So, ba ang dami sa TikTok ah? Puro Milky Way. First winner, the name is Annie Annie. Congratulations. Second winner is Bino, Bino. And third winner is Meow. Meow, as in cat meow. Correct answer is Milky Way Galaxy. Congratulations. Let's give an exclamation mark to our winners, please. Let's do that. And while we're doing that, I'm going to request our participants. The only thing that I'm going to request for you for this free session is to please give us a like. Give us a heart. If you haven't done that yet, makonsensya naman kayo. Mag-guilty naman kayo. Okay? Please give us a like. We will appreciate that. That's the only thing that will help us improve our social media algorithm so we can reach out to more folks. We'd like to thank our viewers on TikTok. We've got 5,400 likes so far. We're going to request the same thing also for our Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube viewers. Okay? Let's continue. Let's do our... I think we can cover 5 more questions for tonight. Again, our topic for tonight, if you have missed it out, is understanding the politics of promotion. Okay? Understanding the politics of promotion. You can also still ask us questions outside that topic. From time to time, we will raise them. Okay? Okay. Here's another question on TikTok. TikTok muna tayo. Okay, this one's a promotion question on TikTok. Okay, this one is from Habibi. Taga Middle East ba to? Habibi's question is this: John, I am contemplating to quit because I have been expecting a promotion for 4 years now. I think I deserve it. I've asked my manager about it, but she said that she cannot decide herself. Is it okay to just quit? And my only reason for quitting, sorry, ang haba. My only reason for quitting is this: I love the company. Benefits are amazing, but I am just not promoted at all. Okay, let me summarize. Thank you, Habibi, for that. Talagang Habibi tawag ko sa'yo, no? Thank you, Habibi, for that question. Okay, quick points. You're okay with the company, amazing salary, amazing benefits. You're okay with your coworkers, but you've been stuck for 4 years, still not getting promoted. Should you leave? Because it's not something that your boss can even guarantee to you. Okay, I'm going to skip the part because I said this already a while ago. Sometimes you may think that you deserve to get promoted, but you don't because you're just not good enough. So I'm going to assume that, Habibi, when you ask this question, you know that you also deserve that promotion in the first place. Okay? We're going to work on that assumption that you deserve it. So if you think that the only way to get greener pastures is to leave, I'm going to support your proposal. Why? The only way for you to be able to increase your salary, the only way for you to be able to get on better opportunities, and that includes benefits that are more competitive, is to move on to a new company. If you're going to apply for a new company, there's a big chance that you're going to increase your salary by 20 to 30%. Because for most external hires, especially if you are a well-rounded, high-performing employee, you're going to get that increase, which technically is what you have been looking for. Okay? It's also very normal that when you move to a different company, you probably are going to be given a bigger role and a bigger scope. You probably are going to be given people to manage. If that's what you're looking for, go. I think you can, as long as you clearly clarify this during the job interview, because sometimes they are not revealed by the company. Okay? Ask questions such as, so when I'm going to be entering this role, what are the expectations? How big is the team? Will I be managing people? What is the budget for this specific position? You need to ask those questions when you do your job interview. Okay? I'll support you. And the reason for that is because I think the clue was already given by your manager. And that is, your manager told you that she doesn't know when. Perhaps, unfortunately, your company has a culture of they just don't promote people frequently. Okay? Here's my only concern. It's just ironic to say that your salary and benefits are competitive. You have a good relationship with people. I think it's a good company, and yet they don't promote people. So I think there's a disconnect. So please don't get mad at me. What I'm thinking is people actually do get promoted. It's just that there's something about your performance or your boss that's keeping you from getting promoted. That, I think, is the issue. Okay? Oh, okay. I like this question from Facebook, from Gilbert. Gilbert Pedroso says, what is your take on workers who, after they get promoted, they become lazy and irresponsible? Can I get an exclamation mark if you can relate with this, folks? Have you experienced this? Have you been one of them? Can I get an exclamation mark? uh, okay. I cannot recall meeting someone in my career in which, when they got promoted, however, they got lazier. In fact, and maybe because it's because I work with very competitive people. Maybe I was lucky that I was able to be exposed only to these types of folks. Because when you get promoted, the person even gets they become even more competitive. They become more mature. They want to live up to the expectations. So it's not, I think that's more normal to happen rather than having someone become lazy or irresponsible. I would do a heart to heart talk with these people, and I'm going to tell them the reason why you were promoted is because the company thought that you deserve it. I don't think you're living up to that expectation recently. Okay. Question: can your promotions be canceled and be rescinded? Yes. Because again, they're based on contracts, they're based on negotiations and consensus. Gilbert, my take is that if someone became lazier after they got promoted, it only means one thing. You did not do proper scrutiny if this person really deserves that promotion. Can I get a letter A if you guys agree? It means you probably had one criterion that was checked for promotion, but the other items were not properly diagnosed. Joms is asking, similar to what we had a while ago, is it a sign to leave if you are no longer learning anything and no possible growth? Yes. That's what I did in my former companies. You're already a master of what you've done. Your projects are not changing even if you've asked for it. If your salaries are still stuck, it's been 6 years and 7 years, but you know that you are ready to take on new challenges, I think you should leave. And it's not because you are performing poorly. It's also not because the company is a bad company. I need to remind everyone, companies who do not promote you are not bad companies all the time. It's just that the company can be so small that there is no space for people to advance. Okay? That's possible. The only time that a company is really a bad company when they don't want to promote you is because they want to save money. They know that if they promote someone, they have to increase their salary, and they don't want that to happen. So that's a company worth leaving because their rewards philosophy is against making people deserve what they deserve in the first place. Go. I would leave. Okay. I like this question also from HB. What do you do with an employee who doesn't want to accept promotions? First, ask yourself if you have properly convinced this person. Some people don't want to accept promotions because they have a different perspective or expectation of what it means to be promoted. If you itemize to them one by one that it will be manageable, you're going to be guided and supported. Because some people will just have this giant paranoia. Oh, if I get promoted, I will not be able to go home early. I will have so much workload. I might be signing on contracts that are multi-million peso, and if something goes wrong, I will be paying for them. Some people have that mindset. You have to correct this mindset. And if you do, they might just change their mind and they might just think, it's not that bad after all. Okay? That's one. Number two, if they don't really want to get promoted, I think you should respect their decision, and I think that you should continue supporting them. Remember, we call these people as individual contributors or ICs. ICs are employees who wish to contribute as team players, not as managers. And amazing companies will support them as long as they are still contributing to the bottom line. Okay? Medyo gutom na ako. I ate dinner kasi early at 5, thinking that I should be asleep by 11. But now I don't know if I need to eat. Question, guys, do you guys binge, like, do you eat snacks late at night like 11 or 12? How often do you guys do that? Could you please type in the chat box? Just want to check. Because I think it's unhealthy, no? Like chips, gosh. I do that. And then you end up watching TV more. And then by the time that you check it, it's already 2 a.m. Sometimes that happens to me, and I hate that. I need to sleep early tonight because we have a company that has contracted us for a session at 6 o'clock, at 7 o'clock in the morning, which means I have to be awake by 6 a.m. Sabi ni Rai all the time. Noel Chen says every night. Don says when I am stressed, I just did that last night. You know, my only solution is I will not buy chips. I will not stock them in my pantry because if I know that there is one, I will end up eating it. It's not good. Okay. Ang specific naman ito, talagang siomai daw every night. I drink water to pass the hunger. Midnight snacking is bad unless you have fruits around, says Monix Carl. Water's not enough eh. Sometimes I drink protein shakes instead because that will make you feel full. Sir, okay, B2B is asking on TikTok, is an intimate relationship between the program supervisor and a director bad for the staff? Yes, I do so. Most companies do not allow romantic relationships as part of the contract and as part of the HR handbook within the same department or team. Why? It usually becomes a reason for favoritism, thereby certain policies and laws are not properly followed because you easily forgive a mistake. You allow them to break the rules. Or if ever you give grades to your employees, you might give them a higher grade than what they deserve. So in some companies, it's not allowed. Some companies are only allowing it, but you have to be from different departments and you should not be involved in the same project, for example. I think it was the same policy, at least during my time when I was working at Globe Telecom and I was working for GlaxoSmithKline. Romantic relationships were allowed for as long as you were not working directly and you have the same metrics within the same team. Oh, I like this. Facebook from Ran Reno. Why is it that some managers tend to pick the person that they can rely on rather than other employees or the better employees? Okay. Ran, I'm going to change this sentence a bit. In the corporate world, we have what they call as the employee paradox, the star employee paradox. The star employee paradox means the better you perform, the likely that you will be dumped with more work. Can I get an exclamation mark if you guys have experienced that? And the reason is simple. Oh, magaling ka pala eh, which means I can now entrust you with more work so we can do more business. More business and better business means more profits. We'll be able to meet our sales targets. We'll be able to earn our commissions. Okay? So this is a natural reaction for anyone. I don't think this is bad as long as you properly and fairly compensate the person whenever you also stretch them. So if they keep on performing well, they only deserve a promotion or they deserve a salary increase at some point. What is wrong is that you keep on stretching your good employees up to a point that they start to break. Up to a point wherein, okay, I'm the best star player in town and yet I'm not getting properly compensated. I'm going to look for another company who will recognize my efforts and who will treat me with better compensation. And please, guys, saying congratulations and good job will never be enough. I will not be able to eat your recognition and praise. At the end of the day, we still work so we can put food on the table. So when I say recognition, that has to be matched beyond words. It has to be matched by proper financial compensation. It doesn't have to be in cash. It could be improvement of your benefits. It could be increase in vacation leave. It could be increase in allowances or better perks. You get a car plan, you get a free phone, you get your laptop after 3 years, for example. Okay? Oh, okay. By the way, we've done it. We've prepared this morning. I'm going to announce that if you happen to have a question that we did not answer in this session right now, you can still submit those questions and we will find a time to answer them in the future session or I will directly send you an email. Okay? What is that email? What is that link? The link is johnyabut.com/ask advice. I am actually putting that now in the chat box. johnyabbott.com/advice. Right? It's gonna be it's like an online Dropbox. So it's a way for us to be able to answer more questions because we just want to. And we think that we will be able to help and reach out to more people. Okay. I'm typing this also on TikTok. johnyabbott.com/advice. Okay. We will find time to answer them, and in our future live stream, like my live stream tomorrow or this weekend, we will answer them as well. Okay. Can I get an exclamation mark if that's okay with you? Of course, it's going to be good, right? More opportunities. I want to buy your book. How much is it? Our books are 399 pesos. They're available in our official store in Lazada and Shopee. They're also available in bookstores nationwide. In the Philippines, they're available in Fully Booked and National Bookstore. If you happen to be in Dubai, in UAE, they're available in Magrudi's bookstore. If you happen to be in Singapore and Malaysia, they're available in Kinokuniya and MPH bookstore. If you are in Vietnam, it's also translated in Vietnamese. You can also buy them at Saigon bookstores, available also nationwide in Vietnam. John, dapat po may podcast kayo. We do have, and we're on season 2. So please go to Spotify, catch us, type my name, Jonathan Yabut, and it's all about career management. Okay. Joash de la Cruz asked this question on Facebook. When someone gets promoted, one of the challenges encountered is how to build respect and boundaries with your subordinates who used to be your colleagues. Any tips? Okay. I love this question. Can I get an exclamation mark again? Props to Joash for asking this. It's a typical dilemma for most people who got bumped up to a higher position. Okay. Number one, Joash, embrace the fact that it's not going to happen overnight. When you have been best friends with your colleagues, you go out for Friday drinks, you go out for lunch, it's going to be normal that there's going to be a level of awkwardness for a few months. Okay, that's one. Number two, you have to install those pockets of seniority over time with your choice of words and with your exposure. What do I mean? That means you have to minimize that you should not be hanging out too often anymore with your merienda, with your lunch, right? On your Friday nights. And that's because you don't want to overshare information that can be taken against you to signify if you're performing well or not. Okay? This is what I call as the employee and manager relationship that's based on equilibrium. Okay? You want to keep an equilibrium wherein you're still close enough to trust each other, but not too close that there is too much intimacy. Okay? Number two, I would start shifting my treatment of my subordinates, of my people, into a mentorship mode. Okay? When I say mentorship mode, whenever you talk to them and speak to them, choose words that will signify on how they get better. So, for example, like in a one-on-one conversation, be more obsessed about, John, when you made slide number X, I've noticed that you did X, Y, and Z. Can we change that because of A, B, and C? So your mode is always about, I don't want to call it as nitpicking, but your mode of your choice of words should always be about how can this person improve? How can this person be allowed to get things done without me supervising them all the time? So dapat ang choice of words mo more paternal or more maternal rather than being an equal. Okay? Another way, here's a change in mindset. If you really have a good set of colleagues that you treat as friends, I don't even think you need to adjust significantly because they will understand your situation, such that you don't even need to have that awkward conversation in the first place. Okay? I think that if there's going to be awkwardness between the two of you, it is a symptom that that person is insecure that you got promoted and they didn't? Can I get a letter A, as in awkwardness, if you can capture that? So what do you do? When you have your conversations with this employee, I want you to tell them that you are their ally for their promotion, which means you're not their competitor. You're not their competition. And I will tell them, Joanna, I want you to know that in the next few years, I also think that you deserve to get promoted just like I did. But in order for you to get promoted, I will need to be able to defend you properly to HR and to my boss. I want you to be aware of what are the metrics that are needed for you to get promoted. When you clearly tell your subordinates, your team members, who were your former best friends or barkada, that you are on their side, I think they're going to lower down their guards. And they will see you as their partner for them to be promoted also in the future. Okay? The ultimate goal is to not be their competition for your position, because they're going to be eyeing on that. It might graduate to a situation wherein they will find a way to topple you down so that they can replace you. You don't want that to happen. So make sure that they know that you are on their same team. Okay? Okay, how do you motivate, sabi ni AG on TikTok? How do you get yourself motivated if you, I've answered this a while ago, so I'm just going to repeat it. How do you motivate yourself if you got demotivated after you have missed a promotion, even if you think you deserve it? I'm going to use a metaphor about romantic relationships here because I think we can all relate something closer to home. One, it's scientifically proven that one of the hardest relationships to move on from is when you did not know why the person broke up with you. Can I get a letter B, as in broke up, if you can relate to that? It's one of the hardest things to get over with. Why? Because you were betrayed and you were stabbed in your back, not knowing that it was about to come. You didn't know what was the reason. Was it something that I said, something that I did? And so you feel betrayed. Okay? The same thing also happens for promotions. You will feel betrayed that you did not get promoted if you did not have a single idea why you were not promoted in the first place. Did I miss out on anything? Did I say something in a meeting and the person didn't like me? Should have I volunteered on project X, Y, and Z? Okay? So if your manager is not telling these things to you, you need to find your own closure. You need to be the one to ask that question from them. It's going to be an awkward conversation. It's easier said than done, but you have to invite them for a heart-to-heart talk. Boss, can I ask you for a 30-minute meeting? And then share your thoughts. Who knows? After that meeting, it will even make your manager more aware that you really want this so bad, so they will need to work harder to get you promoted as well. Okay. Last two questions, and let's end this topic. Let's end this talk. What's the ideal timeline for a developmental assignment? Says Dejarin Dadora from TikTok. What's the ideal timeline for developmental assignment? So for those who may be unaware or uninitiated, sometimes before a company promotes an employee, they will first give them a stretch role or a stretch assignment. Either it's called an OIC position, a developmental project, etc. And the reason for that is because they're testing the waters that if we have increased the workload or increased the challenge level, will this person be able to do it? And if she succeeds, that means they're able to take on the challenging role in the future. How long usually does that last? Usually it's 6 months to 1 year. Good enough observation time because a project can take on a lot of time as well. Okay? But of course, you don't get promoted in 6 months. Most people don't get promoted in 1 year. Most promotions, depending on your seniority. For example, if it's a management trainee to an associate or an associate to a product manager or commercial manager role, 2 to 3 years. The higher the position you are aspiring, the longer years it will take. So if you want to become a CEO and you're currently only a department head, it might take you 7 years, 5 years, 10 years, for example. And I'm talking about internal promotion. A better way to get promoted faster is to move from one company to another. Notice this. Look at the resumes of people. When people move from one company to another, usually their positions get bigger and higher faster versus someone who's been stuck in the same company for 10 to 20 years. Can I get an exclamation mark? Do you notice that? Look at the resumes of people on LinkedIn. When they were in company X, they were a product manager. When they moved to company Y, they became a group product manager. When they moved to company Z, they became a marketing director. And usually that can happen in 2 to 3 years or 5 years. For most people who have been staying in the same company, it's usually slower and it's usually in the same position as well. Okay? Mr. John, does your book also have ebooks? Yes. You can download them as digital copies. Go to our website, 𝗀𝗱𝗆𝗏.com, and we also sell our books as digital copies. Okay, let's take this last question. Can I get the letter L, by the way, if we're learning something so far or if we're getting an aha moment? I just want to check and probe on our participants. If it's your first time to catch us on TikTok or LinkedIn, we do this session every night as much as I can. I don't guarantee 100%. I don't think I'll be able to go online, by the way, guys. I have dinner, but I think I'll be able to go Sunday or Saturday night. Okay? Anong oras usually ang live? I go live 8 to 9 p.m. 8 to 9 p.m. Weekends, Saturday and Sunday, I usually go live 10 or 11 a.m. Oo nga pala, I should not be doing live sessions on weekends because that will eat away my social life. So usually, Saturday, Sunday, 10 to 11 a.m. during that time. Mondays to Fridays, we go online 8 to 9 p.m. Or we can start at 9 p.m. also. Okay. I'm trying to look for the perfect question to cap off this evening. Okay, let's do this. This was a situational one. HB Kanoy, I'm a branch manager for 10 years and I think I'm not suitable for the position. Should I call for a new position that I think I could do better, like an internal auditor? Yes. If you think that a position that's being offered to you, whether it's a promotional position or not, and you don't like it, you don't think you will end up learning something from it, try to talk to your manager and tell them that it's not just because you are lazy, it's because you're not happy with it. I want to highlight this is so important. Gladiators and suits, this is important. Whenever you talk about jobs and accepting projects, don't just use competency as a reason. Talk about engagement. Talk about things such as, whenever I do PowerPoint slides, I'm just not happy. It is just not aligned with what I like to do in life. I prefer using spreadsheets. Okay? And the reason why that's important is because it's going to be easier for you to explain to someone that you do not like that specific project. Not because because people might dismiss you. You're not a team player. You're lazy. No, I am a team player. I am a very studious person. I am a very competitive person. It's just that I will be competitive, I will be excellent, and I will be quick to work if it's something that I like to do. And you cannot force these things to people. Passion for a certain role, for a certain project, is not something that you buy from a bookstore or a drugstore and you take it and that's it. Okay? So when you explain that you're rejecting a promotion, you're rejecting a position, you're asking for something else, you have to go for the route of engagement. happiness. It sounds cheesy, but it is happiness. I'm just not happy with it. Okay? I'm not happy talking to people all the time. I don't like presiding meetings. I love it when I'm in front of my laptop. I can have my music turned on and I can spend 8 hours in front of it. That's the kind of job that I like. You need to vocalize this to your manager. Okay? All right. Gladiators in suits. I need to hit the sheets. So I'm going to thank you for joining our session for tonight. Please catch us again around 8 to 9 p.m. on weekdays, Saturdays and Sundays, 10 to 11 a.m. in the morning. When I say 10 to 11, I might go 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Depends on what time will I be able to wake up. We thank you for the conversation. I had many amazing questions today. Can I get another exclamation mark? Let's congratulate everyone because you guys are really killing it with good questions. You know, sometimes napapagod ako kapag yung mga questions hindi intellectually stimulating. And I will say this, when the questions are something that challenge me and something that I can relate with, I think the stress goes away easily. So I thank you for that because I always say this, I'm only as good as the audience because you bounce back, you give me the good banter. So thank you. Please go to our website, jonathan.yabut.com if you'd like to catch our books, our best-selling books, if you'd like to enroll in our workshops. If you cannot be physically on site, if you say you're in Mindanao, you're in another country, you can join and enroll in our online workshops. We have lots of recorded webinars that you can apply and enroll to. They're also in our website. And our podcast is on Spotify. From Grit to Great is the title of our podcast. Thank you. Stay safe. I'll catch you guys soon. Bye.